guys, and welcome to the intermediate guitar lesson for the sweep picking mini course within a video. I hope you enjoyed the beginner and the pre-picking stage. Now we're going to be moving on to an intermediate guitar lesson. Now it's exactly the same chord progression as you've learned in the beginner. If you've just joined me, you're going to be learning this chord progression. But we're going to be looking at 5-string sweeping patterns rather than just the 3-string. So it is going to be more difficult. You're going to be using more fingers, more combinations, but I'm going to try and talk you through it as best as possible. Now I'm going to talk you through it as if you've taken the beginner lesson. So I'm not going to teach the 3 strings, I'm going to teach the 5 strings. So if you're having trouble learning these chord shapes, do check the previous video. So the first thing we're going to be looking at is the chord shapes that we're going to be going through. Now it's still the same chord, it's an A minor, but now we're going to be starting with the 4th finger on the 12th fret. You're going to be picking up through an A minor shape. So picking up, it will sound like this. Picking down will sound like this. Now we're going to work on just the left hand for now, so I'm going to move on to the next chord shape. Now you've already learnt that part of the arpeggio. Now we're going to be starting again with the 4th finger on the 10th fret. So going up, coming back down, next chord shape, going up, coming down, the final arpeggio shape, so going up, coming down. That, guys, are the chord shapes. Before moving on, make sure you can sweep up once, sweep down once before moving on. Then each of those shapes you want to move along and really get them under your belt before then trying the sweep picking lick, because it is quite a tough one. You're an intermediate now, so it is quite a difficult riff if you haven't done the pre-picking and the beginner lesson. So let's get cracking on the actual riff itself, which we're going to look at the right hand. So the right hand, we're going to be moving through the chord progression, but the picking pattern is what's important. Also bear in mind that there are 4 notes per beat when you are practicing this. So we're going to be picking down, pull off, and then you begin your sweep. So we have, once you've finished on that upstroke on the last string, you begin your sweep back down. Upstroke again at the end of this riff, the pull off. The final note is going to finish on this 8th fret here. So make sure that the right hand is sweeping through, not just strumming, and you're picking out individual notes. The tablature, guys, is really going to help you to learn that riff. I'm just demonstrating it for you there. I'll do it one more time at a medium tempo. Spend the time on this riff before moving on. One of the biggest mistakes I see is you start learning the next part before you have really sort of solidly got the first shape. Once you have that, the rest becomes much easier. It might be a bit boring when you're first doing, one chord constantly for like 3 or 4 hours, but or however long it takes you. Once you spend the time on the first part, moving on becomes much easier, and it'll be a lot less frustrating for you guys. Now we're going to move it through the rest of the shapes. So the next one, you're going to start at the top and work your way down. The next shape. The final shape. And that, guys, is the entire riff all the way through. Now, I may have gone a bit quick over some of those other chord shapes, but that's because I'm hoping you'll spend the time on the first one before moving on. Okay guys, so that concludes the intermediate part of the course. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy working on some of these 5-string sweeps. If it was too much for you, if you just joined me on the intermediate, head back to the beginner guitar course. Remember, you can select your level. It's a mini guitar course within one video, so choose the level that applies to you guys, and I'll see you over in the next lesson where you can carry on your sweep picking course.